Hello everybody, it's Saturday morning, 28th of June, 11:30ish, and my partner is in the Sari store, and I just had a shower. I put the washing in the washing machine, and I'm sitting down having a coffee and a Kit Kat before I go to Metro, which is a 5 minutes walk across the road. Cockerels are in full bloom this morning. It's a very, very hot day again, and I've got to go out on the porch and do some gardening. Well, move some plants. I've just had a shower, that's why my hair's a mess. But anyway, I never bullshit you on these videos, and everything I say is true. I've been here nearly 3.5 years now, and I think I know a little bit about the Philippines. I've renovated a house. I've also bought land, and I'm saving up to buy to build a new house and then rent these rooms out, or rent this house, convert it into rooms. But the reason I'm really making this video, and I don't normally make videos so close together, is because I watched a video from a guy called Kevin that lives in Savannah at the moment, and I believe he's got a place in Dumaguete, would you believe it? And I also watched one last night about another guy who's quite well known on the YouTube scene from Dumaguete, and he travels around from one place to another, and he comes up with the same fucking shite as always. And it's basically just to get money. Anyway, let's go. Some of them are combined, so you have to bear with me. But I'm going to start off with Kevin. I'm getting attacked at the moment by my cat. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think he said there was 5 or 6 things that worries him about the Philippines. And Kevin, I'm not going to criticise him as a person because I don't even know him, but he's not an old bastard. He's maybe late 30s, early 40s. But my advice to you, Kevin, is if you're frightened of these things when living in the Philippines, then don't come to the Philippines. That's my honest answer. So let's just run through them. And some of them, like I said, is with the video that I watched last night. He's worried about medical emergencies. And in the video last night, one of the topics was also medical insurance. Well, most of you know my feelings on medical insurance. Medical insurance companies are out to do one thing, and that is to make money. They have certain hospitals that can only take their medical insurance, so you have to use their hospitals. They will go out of their way to say that you're not covered in this, you're not covered in that. And at the end of the day, medical insurance companies are out to make money. And if they can reduce the payments to you, they will do. Now, it's a funny thing, medical insurance, because I worked out roughly, it's about $200 a month, yeah? And I wrote this down because I'm not very good at switching over laptops. I worked out about $200, to keep it simple, is about 11,000 pesos a month. Now, if you've got a credit card or you've got money in the bank, why do you need medical insurance? And I'll tell you why in a minute. Also, if you don't have a lot of money coming over to the Philippines and you can't afford medical insurance, well, then you're in the crap, basically. To come over to the Philippines, you've got to have some backup money, whether it's a credit card or money in the bank, to pay for any emergency medical requirements. Now, I've been here nearly 3.5 years. So if you say 40 months, now if I had paid medical insurance from the day that I first came over here, I would have paid up to now 440,000 pesos. Now, that is a lot of money. A lot of money could have been spent somewhere else. But I will go on to a bit about that more later. He also talked about Mark Thornton, the guy that had, I believe, had a stroke in Dumaguete and died. Well, apparently Kevin was in Dumaguete at the time of his death. And he said he wondered if Mark had been in the United States, would the medical treatment have been any better? Well, no one can forecast a stroke. I could have a stroke right now. I could have an heart attack right now. I could just collapse right now. You know, you cannot preempt these things. Mark could have been touring India or Afghanistan or somewhere like that and had a heart attack or stroke. You rush to the nearest hospital and you just take your chance. But from my experience, you get what you pay for. There's good hospitals in the Philippines and they're good doctors. I could go back to the UK for an operation and the surgeon could be Filipino. He could come from Cebu. So, you know, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. And I don't believe the medical treatment in the Philippines is any poor. The problem is that a lot of you choose to live in the province. And the time it takes for an ambulance to get to you, especially after it's been raining and all the tracks are worn down, it's unpassable, then you have problems. But, you know, it's just, you can never plan a medical emergency. It's an emergency. You could be queuing up at the airport and have an heart attack. But let me tell you something. I would have paid 440,000 peso if I had medical insurance up to now. When I first came here, I had a kidney stone. I had a kidney stone in my left side in Cyprus, and when I came here, I had a kidney stone on my right side. I went to the local hospital here, which is in walking distance, and they gave me a painkiller, they gave me some tablets, and when I came home that same night, I went to the toilet and out came a very small stone. And that was it. I think and the next day they asked me to come back for like a scan where they found some like sand on my kidney or something like that, and they gave me some stuff to make it dissolve. But I don't think that even cost me 5,000 peso for the whole lot. And then the next time, and the guy I watched last night mentioned this as a medical insurance, dengue fever. Dengue fever to me, I've had dengue fever when I was renovating this house and it was all full of dust and humidity and everything else and water and cement. That's when I caught dengue fever. But my partner took me to the doctor's hospital in Lapu-Lapu and I was sent downstairs for various tests. It came back that I had dengue because they thought I had COVID. They gave me very medical, my cat's playing around, various medical tests, and they gave me tablets, and they was a bit concerned, I think, about my plates was a bit high, and if it gets any higher, I may have to go into hospital itself. Lucky enough, after a few days treatment, I went back and that was all like normal. But dengue fever took me a good few weeks after I got rid of the dengue. It took me a good few weeks to get back to normal because my legs were just aching and aching. I couldn't stand for long periods of time or anything like that. Now that dengue fever, every time I saw the doctor, it cost me 1,000 peso. So maybe I saw him 3 or 4 times, and with the tests I'd done downstairs was about 400 peso. So let's say at the very, very most, including taxi fares, or a tricycle, but we had lunch there, probably 10,000, not even 10,000 for the whole lot, the whole treatment. And then the last one I had was, I had a stomach infection, bacteria. I went to the local hospital here, which is like the Mary something or pregnant women thing or something like that. It's within walking distance. My partner took me there and I had a blood test and I saw the doctor afterwards and they discovered that I had a bacterial infection. She gave me medicine and I came back here and my partner gave me 2 bottles of Yakult and that seemed to have done the trick. Now that probably cost me 1,000 peso. Now when you work out all those 3 illnesses that I had, it was probably about 15, 16,000 peso. And that's all I've spent on medical treatment this last 3.5 years. But if I had medical insurance, I would have paid 440,000. And not only that, but sometimes they say, sorry, we're not covered for that, we're not covered for this, you've got to go to this hospital, you're not that. They are in the business to make money. Now, I'm in a lucky situation. I've got a credit card. I've got money in the bank that I can pay for an emergency. But would I go back to the UK to have an emergency operation? No. Sorry, one more thing. Let me have a sip. This guy, Kevin, medical thing, is always, that comes later, but I'll tell you about it now. He's on about sun exposure in the Philippines. Yes, it is hot. It's fucking hot. And he was on about skin cancer. I had skin cancer. I caught skin cancer when I was working in the oil fields in Oman. And I had skin cancer there. And I had it for years, 3-4 years. And I kept putting stuff on it, thinking it was just like a cut or something. But it wouldn't heal. So I went to Chung Hwa Hospital in Mandawi. She took a biopsy and sent it off to the lab. I went back a week later and I was told that it is skin cancer, but it's the lowest and the slowest form of skin cancer, but it still has to come out. So I made an appointment. The same doctor was a surgeon. I'd done it in the clinic. It wasn't in a big operating theatre, or it was a small room with a bed and a nurse assisting the doctor and everything. Huh? And I must have been there, I don't know, 2-3 hours, and she cut it out. And whilst I was there, she sent it down to the lab, and the lab came back within 10 minutes saying that it was all clear, that whatever she cut out was all clear. So then she stitched me up and everything else, and it's fine, you can't even recognise it. Okay, this was a bit numb for a few months, but it's okay now. That, in total, for the operation, cost me 70,000. Now, if you take in consideration all the illnesses that I've had over the last 3.5 years, it probably comes not even 100,000 peso. Yet, I would have paid out 440 if I had medical insurance. So, So Kevin, if you're worried about medical emergencies, just make sure you're covered. But I wouldn't rush home to the US because there are adequate doctors and nurses in the Philippines. And a lot of them have been trained overseas anyway. But at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. The next thing he was worried about, yeah, it's the same sort of thing. He saw a friend die in the US. Yeah, it was Mark. Oh, vehicle accidents he's complaining about. He's scared about vehicle accidents. Well, if you're scared about vehicle accidents, then don't come over here and drive. apparently he owns a motorbike in Dumagetti, and in my opinion, I would not own a motorbike over here. Every accident I've seen here in Lapu or Paho has been with a motorbike. Whether they collided between each other, or the bike has hit a car, or whatever. I drive a car here. Yes, it is a pain. You have to expect the unexpected. But I regard myself as a good driver because I was a driving instructor in the army, and I held every licence in the UK apart from motorbike because I don't like them. And I'd done a driving test for every single licence that I had. My driving test over here, I didn't even get out of second gear. It was just round the block of the City Hall. Where in England, I don't know about anywhere else, in England it could take 1.5 hours, and you're doing all sorts of reversing, emergency brake, motorway driving, everything you can think of. I regard myself as a professional driver, but over here, you have to be careful. Just be slow, just slow down a bit, and every junction you come across, just slow down and look into it. Sun exposure, I've already covered that. He's worried about, because the Philippines is near the equator and everything else, he's worried about skin cancer and everything else. Well, I've explained that. It doesn't matter where you go in the world now. Even in England, it's at the hottest period it's ever been now. You know, if you put sun cream on or wear a hat or do things, then you won't get skin cancer. But if you're worried about the sun, then don't come. Easy as that. Natural disasters. I came here in December 21. I think I arrived I had to do 10 days quarantine in Manila. I arrived in Paho on the 3rd of December, and on the 16th of December we had Typhoon Odette. That was the first typhoon I have ever experienced. It's not, it can be quite scary. We lost a bit of our roof, the ceilings were leaking, water was coming down the kitchen units and everything else in the place that we rented. But the following morning, when I woke up and walked around the little division there we was in, there was houses with no roofs. You could see their bedroom wallpaper. The ceiling and roof was completely off. But what would the locals do? Sitting down drinking and laughing. To them, you know. But if you're worried about natural disasters, then don't come. And then he's worried about finance and corruption. Well, corruption is everywhere. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're building a house or you go to a local market or you're trying to get stuff done or what. It does not matter what you do, they will try and get another few extra pesos from you. It's normal. I've toured India, and believe me, India is just as bad, even worse than it is in the Philippines. Everyone is trying to corrupt you in India. Even when I caught a bus from Jaipur to Goa, I tried to put my bag, I bought a ticket for the bus, like a sleeper, and I tried to put my bag in the cargo hole, and the guy wanted to charge me extra for putting my bag in. Well, me being a stubborn old sod, I said, no, I'll take it upstairs. So I took it and put it on my bed. All right, it was a bit uncomfortable, but I was not going to let these people win. And that was it, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, medical emergencies, vehicle accidents, sun exposure, natural disasters, and finance and corruption. You've got to be wary when you come to the Philippines. You can get robbed, easily get robbed or scammed. But like I said in other videos, it's up to you. You can say no, it's your bank account. Say no. Anyway, going back to the one last night. This guy, let me have a sip. This guy is a well-known YouTuber. He's always doing something And he repeats himself every freaking 5 minutes and pisses me off as well. Anyway, he was on about medical insurance, and I've explained my idea about medical insurance. But what he said, he gave a name of a person that you can contact for medical insurance. And he says, if you give my name, that man will give you priority. But that's a load of bollocks, because what he's basically saying, if when you apply for medical insurance and you give my name, I will get a little bit of commission. That's what they're all after. Is that not corruption? Is that not a scam? Then he's on about visas. It's all about money. So when you come over here in the Philippines, you've got to have medical insurance, he says. But bullshit. If you've got a credit card or money in the bank, you don't need all this fucking medical insurance. It's a con trick. Then he's on about visas, that you have to have money for visas. Yeah, okay, you do. But I'm lucky I've got a SRRV visa, which I can stay in because I am ex-army. I got this visa, I paid $1,500, and then I put $1,500 away in like a savings. If I want to buy a condo, I can use it, but I'm not buying a condo, so I've probably lost it. But anyway, I got a permanent visa for life. All right, I have to renew it every couple of years, but I don't have to go every month or every 2 months. I don't know anything about these tourist visas or anything like that. But I know people have to go every month or so. Look at my cat. Just laying there, look. It's a cat's life, isn't it? Anyway, that's what he's on about, visas. You have to have money for visas, but it depends on the type of visa you have. I couldn't overstay a visa like some of these people. I would feel guilty. I would feel as if someone's looking over my shoulder all the time. And then he's on about family costs. If you have a partner, you've got family costs. You have to look after the family and do everything for them. It's a load of bollocks. You don't have to look after the family. It depends what they want. My partner's family never ask for anything. And even if, like I've said before in other videos, if they do, they pay it back. They have never taken money from me and not paid it back. But it depends on the family. It depends on your partner. You know, I've always said that it's the mothers that egg the daughters on to ask for things because she wants the best for her daughter. But 9 times out of 10, she's also looking after herself as well. Oh dear, look. And he's also saying you need money if you rent. Okay, well, tail stuck. Okay, you do money if you need money if you rent, because you've got to pay 1 or 2 months in advance, or, you know, 1 month's rental and 1 month's deposit, etc., etc. But he's also saying that you need money for utensils, you know, fans, microwaves, toasters, because a lot of these rental places don't have this. I've experienced a rental and I will never rent again. I've never rented in my life and I hate it. That's why I bought this house and renovated it and saved on the rental every month. I was paying $20,000 for a pokey little freaking house in a compound, cockroaches, ants, you name it, they had it. It was a fucking mess. Because I wouldn't pay the full rate of $500 a month, they took one aircon away and the TV away. I had to ask for a new fridge because the old one was rusty. The pot, you know, I had to go and buy stuff, but it's the same as if you're in your home country. You know, some rental places are unfurnished, so you have to provide all your own. It's nothing new, it's not rocket science. If you move to a new house, it's obvious that you may have to buy a TV or an aircon or things like that. It's just normal. National disasters again. Now, this particular guy was in Makati. no, not Makati, sorry. He was on Mactan Island when Odette came. Odette really came across Mactan Island. Now, I was in Mactan Island at the time of Odette. I was in a place called Song. And I rented a place and I fucking hated it. Now, yes, Mactan Island did get mainly the full brunt of, did get the full brunt of Odette. But, you know, what can you do? What can you do? Odette could be the last typhoon that Mactan sees for years. There's nothing you can do about it. You could be in the Philippines for a year and not see anything, and then all of a sudden one night, whoosh, a typhoon. It's one of them things. And also, what else? Yeah, that's basically what it is. My cat is trying to bite me and claw the paper that I'm reading. So basically, those two guys, Kevin, my only advice to you, Kevin, is if you're worried about medical emergency, vehicle accidents, sun exposure, national disasters, and finance and corruption, don't come to the Philippines. Stay in Savannah. But apparently, I think he's got a place in Dumaguete because he's got a motorbike there. Then you should have thought about these things before you come in, because you're not an old guy, you're a youngish guy, so you should have thought about these. Don't come here and worry about these things, because you'll land yourself in an early grave. And for the other guy, who just basically makes videos for views, medical insurance, visas, family costs, utensils for rental, national disasters, it's fucking the same. It's the same crap you put out every fucking few videos because you want views. And it's all about money. Mention him to the medical insurance and you'll get top priority. Bullshit. You won't get any more top priority, but he'll get a fucking commission, and that's what he's after. And my cat's clawing some furniture. Anyway, and there was another guy, an Australian guy. He's trying to go 100% self-sufficient, which is a good thing. I don't blame him doing that. But he also gets sponsored. Why do some of these people that come to the Philippines are always after YouTubing to get money and getting sponsored by people, coffee, buy them a coffee? But don't they come with fucking money, these people? Eh? I don't ask for anything. I don't even ask for subscribers. I don't get money from YouTube because I haven't got enough views. But it doesn't bother me. Any money that I would get, I said in the early days, I would spend it on the kids in Paho, and that's what I would do. But a lot of these want it for themselves. I don't need sponsors. I don't need fucking money from YouTube. Maybe when we start building a house in Cordova, then my partner will do start videos then. But at the moment, my partner doesn't want to do videos because she's getting all her teeth done and she doesn't want to appear. So I'm just doing it basically myself and criticising other videos. Because 9 times out of 10, all the videos are from the same people, repeats themselves, they copy other people's videos, and they don't have a mind of their own. But I like to criticise those people. So, have a good day. I'm watching my cat on the shelf before he knocks anything down. Have a good day. I've got to sort out my washing. I'll have my Kit Kat because I don't like to eat when I'm filming. And my cat's on the fridge. Look at him. Look, 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 look. Jet. 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 What are you doing? See, he's such an inquisitive little bastard, but he's a nice cat. So anyway, have a good day, have fun, and all the best, and keep out the sun, keep out the hospitals, don't be scammed, and don't get sun exposure, and keep out of a natural disaster if it happens. Okay, see you later, bye-bye.